CYC Christian Youth Channel.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Martina.
And my name is Lydia.
Let's start with a very quick prayer. Everyone, please take a second to pray for anything that you need from God, and make sure to thank Him for everything that you already have. Let's bow our heads. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, one God, amen. Dear God, thank you for keeping us healthy and for everything that you've done for us. Thank you for our parents and for our church. Please, Lord, help us to learn today's lesson and to learn a lot more about you. Amen. All right. Does anyone remember what we talked about last week? We talked about resurrection because it was Easter. So today I'm gonna tell you one of my very favorite stories. It's from the Bible, obviously, and it's about how Jesus rose from the dead. Remember how we learned about how the three Marys went to the tomb to visit Jesus because he had died on the cross and they buried him?
Yeah.
All right, but do you also remember what happened when they got to his tomb? Was the tomb closed?
No, it was open.
Good job, it was open. But was Jesus inside of the tomb?
No, Jesus was not there and they thought someone stole his body.
Yep, that's correct. And after that, when they were looking for Jesus, they were looking around, and then two angels appeared to them and told them, Jesus is not here, he is risen. The angels also told them, remember when Jesus told you that he would die and that he would raise himself from the dead on the third day? And immediately, the women and the disciples actually remembered that Jesus did tell them those things before. So, they left the place and went to tell the disciples. But the disciples did not really believe what the women were telling them. So Peter, one of the Jesus disciples, he wanted to go and see for himself that Jesus was actually gone. He just couldn't believe that this actually happened. So, he ran to the tomb and stooping down, he saw the linen cloth laying by itself, with Jesus nowhere around to be found. So he left the tomb very surprised for not seeing Jesus there, where they had buried him just 3 days ago. Like, how is this happening? How is he just gone now? And then, on the same day, the disciples heard that Jesus rose from the dead, but they did not believe it. Then, two of the disciples were walking together in a village. Do you remember what the street was called?
Emmaus.
Good job. They were walking and talking until Jesus himself walked by them. Can you believe it? You're just walking and Jesus just passes by you? But they did not recognize him because he was disguised. But then he came close to them. He asked them, what are you two talking about so sadly? What's going on? And then one of the disciples answered him and said, did you not hear about what's been happening here for the past 3 days? Are you a stranger in the city? And Jesus answered them and said, what things? So they said to him, the things concerning Jesus, about like how the chief priests and our rulers sentenced him to death and put him on a cross. Did you not hear any of this? And the man was very surprised that Jesus didn't know. But we were hoping that he would be the one to save Israel. That's what they told him. And then they said, one of our friends, her name is Mary, she went to the tomb early Sunday morning and said that she did not find his body. Then her and the other two Marys came to us saying that the angels appeared to them apparently and said that Jesus is alive. Can you believe it? Jesus is alive! And some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it, just as the women had said, but they did not see Jesus. After they told Jesus all those things, Jesus said to them, don't you remember all the prophecies and that the Christ has to suffer to be able to enter into his glory? All the prophets talked about it. How could you not believe? How could you not have faith in his words and the words of the prophets? You already know this. After Jesus revealed himself to them, he said, peace to you. But the two disciples were very terrified and scared because they thought they had seen a ghost or something, because they knew that Jesus was dead. But Jesus said to them, why are you afraid? Here, look at my hands, look at my feet, touch me, and see that I am not a spirit or a ghost, but I am flesh and blood and a real person just like you. After they saw and touched Jesus' hands and feet and they believed, Jesus asked them if they had any food. Do you know what they gave him?
I think the disciples gave him fish and some honeycomb, and he took it and ate it with them.
Correct. He did take and eat with them. Then he told them that it was very important and necessary that Christ dies and to rise from the dead on the third day, so he can save us, all of us, from our sins and erase all of our sins, which began since the time of Adam and Eve. So now all of our sins are forgiven because Jesus took our place and he died and suffered for us. Now, the story's over, and I have a very quick craft for us to do. So, you know how we said that when Jesus appeared to the disciples, he had holes in his hands and feet? We're gonna draw 2 hands, and we're gonna have holes inside of them in the shape of a heart. This is how it's gonna look like all the way at the end. Let's get started. To do this, we're gonna need a pencil and a red marker and a white piece of paper. Take, how about you put your hand in here and I'll draw it. You can do it on your own hand. Instead of doing it with a marker, with a pencil, I'm gonna use a marker so you guys can see. Bring your hand closer. Gonna try to be very careful. So I wouldn't recommend that you guys use a marker just because now we're making a big mess, but we'll clean it up after. Alright, that's the first hand. Other hand. Make some space right here. Perfect. And then, now that we have the hand, we're gonna take the red marker and just try to draw a heart in here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it would be nice to just have a heart in here and here. And then we're gonna color the hearts. You could color it, or you can cut out around the heart and so it's an actual hole, or you can just leave it like this. And then after you're done, if you want to make the hand look very realistic, you can use like one of those light brown colors and to color the whole entire hand so that it would look like this all the way at the end. And that's how we do our hand. Now, we're gonna go over our memory verse, okay? Are you guys ready to repeat after me? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so our memory verse is, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed."
Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.
One more time. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.
Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.
One last time.
Yes.
Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.
Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed.
And that's John 20:29.
John 20:29.
Good job. Alright, okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. We hope you learned something special today, and that we also start to have faith in Jesus even if we cannot see him around us.
Remember to wash your hands, stay inside, and keep your distance from others. Have a great Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.